Hello everybody! For today's project we're going to be needing about an inch of 16 gauge sterling silver. We will also be needing about 6 inches of 22 gauge and about a foot of 30 gauge sterling silver wire. I have a small rainbow moonstone gemstone. We will be needing our pliers and our wire cutters along with a buffer and a file. We'll be needing our hammer and bench block, and last but not least, a Sharpie marker and a chapstick tube. I'm going to start by taking our 16 gauge on the coil, and we're going to wrap it around our chapstick tube. I like to make one full wrap, and then we will cut it into the shape of a crescent. Now, since the starting end is still a little straight, we're going to be using our round nose pliers to make it into a gentle curve to match the other side. When we're happy with the shape, we're going to go hammer it. When I hammer it, you will see that I pull the hammer in like a stroking motion while I hammer it, and that will help to flare out the ends. And you can also do this in any curves and bends like I'm doing now with the round shape. It will help to just emphasize the round shape and help to make the wire spread out in an even fashion. And when I come to the other end, I'm going to pull it so that it flares out. You can see I have a nice even shape. And now we're going to texture the other side with the round end of the hammer. Now, to help get rid of the little sharp ends, the burrs I think is what it's called, from the ends of the silver, I'm going to be taking my file, and I have a rough side and a smooth side, and I'm going to start with the rough side. And I'm just shaping it into a rounded end. And I will do that on both sides. Once I have gotten both sides with my file, I'm now coming in with my buffing block. I get these at beauty supply stores, but you can also get some like them at hardware stores. And I'm just helping to finish smooth these out so it's nice and smooth and round. Now I'm cutting my 6 inches of 22 gauge wire, and I'm going to be torching these to ball up the ends off camera. I do have a video on how to do this, and I will link it below. Now that my ends are nice and rounded, I'm going to mark the center with a Sharpie marker. I'm really bad at math, so I did have to count to make sure that I was in the middle when I marked it. I hope I'm not the only one that has to do that. I'm going to be using my round nose pliers in this middle mark and making a nice big loop, and from there on out I really just did some freeform swirling and wrapping it around the crescent. So I'm going to shut up now and let you guys watch for yourselves. I finished these ends by curling them inward and pressing them all nice and flat against the crescent shape. This is our finished base. And now I'm going to be cutting a foot of 30 gauge so that we can add our beads and decorations. Just slide the bead into the middle of the 30 gauge, and I'm going to start by wrapping it into this center loop. Now I'm ready to add some beads as decorations. I did not mention these in my material listing because I hadn't realized that I was going to be using them. But now that I got to this point, I figured I really needed something else besides just the wire. So we will be using two 2mm beads and two 3mm beads. And I will just be stringing them on the wire and wrapping them to the curled loops, like shown. Now we are ready to add our 3mm beads. Since this is the end of our wire, I will be wrapping it 2 times around the end where the ball is, the spiral end, and then I will be wrapping it 2 times back around itself. And I show that nice and close, so hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Now it's time to cut off your excess wire and pinch it down. And I like to apply some pressure and pull on the wire when I'm cutting it. It helps it to pull off really close. And now you are done with your moon. The last thing you will be needing to do is to apply a bail. And I have here a sterling silver split ring that I like to use as a quick and simple bail, and they're nice and strong. And I'm just pushing it through the little curly loop at the top, and you're done. I am going to oxidize and polish this and show you the final piece.